So, Team Tuesday. I knew it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday, so I was close. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm John.
I'm David.
And we're here to talk to you about fire. No, that wasn't it. We had an argument.
We're going to talk about wildfires. We are going to talk about that.
What did you say we were going to be talking about today?
Well, we've got wildfires causing damage, so I think we're talking about mitigation of damage due to wildfires.
Okay, see, I don't think that's what we're talking about today. I would call it mitigating wildfires with concrete. There's a huge difference. I don't think there's a huge difference.
Yeah, there's some difference.
There's some difference?
Yeah.
There's a huge difference. So we're going to break it down into three things, and we're just going to go right up into the setup. We have well over, hundreds and thousands of acres burning right now throughout the U.S. Whether it's Colorado, California, or Montana, there's just a lot of timber that is turning into ash and wreaking havoc not only on our civil infrastructure and places where we live,
right, but
also on our environment. And it's not a localized, the fire burns the wood and that's it. Later on, the ash, the fallout, the loss of vegetation is going to have a huge impact on local climate zones. So wildfires are a big issue.
And on wildlife, we're seeing that. The ash runoff runs into the streams, kills fish, kills off vegetation. It's ugly to look at.
And it doesn't matter who you go through, the statistics are there, whether it's your local state DOTs, municipalities, or Scientific America or Popular Mechanics. They have the numbers out there that wildfires, for some reason, have been getting worse. It's called the WUI effect.
Right, the wildfire urban something.
Something. And that something is not the important thing, but what's going on, and here's the conflict. Timber for single-story and multi-story homes has become very popular within the last few years, within the last decade, I would say, too. And these timber homes are normally put up in really pretty places.
Yeah. That's it. People want to live next to these wildlife zones, these open zones. It's a nice place to live.
That being said, most of these zones where people are moving their houses, where their timber house is now located, at one point was a break in the forest or in the congestion of trees to give almost a natural fire break or a municipality-made fire break.
That's right. Subdivisions used to have perimeter roads and those kinds of things. Now homes are backed right up to the forest.
Sure.
Different situation.
And what that effectively does is maintains the fuel to continue that flow of fire. And I think the most prevalent method is the crown fire.
Crown fire is where the fire goes through the tops of the trees, and very, very hard to fight. We saw that back east in forest fires back there. And of course there's the tinder on the ground with the drier, more arid climate we've had recently. All that tinder on the ground is just up its woe.
Right, so the resolution to that, you have this forest, you have homes that are made out of timber, the fire flow is going to keep going, would be, especially now that we can rebuild, or we're going to have to rebuild all those homes,
right,
is either make it out of fully made concrete homes.
Can do.
Cement board on timber built homes.
Yeah.
That's already existing.
That's right.
And then concrete breaks, almost like what they use on the ocean or in the ocean, like wave breaks.
Ah, I see. Yeah, we do that. Or, we can plan communities so we have roads and sidewalks, or even a park, as a fire break.
So ultimately, what the impetus of this whole discussion, and we're actually going to be publishing an article on this that looks at the modeling and simulation of these types of structures that we just talked about to mitigate flow of fire and reduce the impact of that fire to ultimately bring down the damage occurred from these forest fires.
That's right. Most of us that live in colder climates, we move towards more insulation to keep the cold out. We move to better roofs, asphalt roofs and clay tile roofs and whatnot to keep the cold out.
Right.
Better windows to keep the cold out. Now, we've got the opposite problem.
Sure.
We want cement board, keep the heat out. We want better roofs.
The extremes.
The extremes. Right. Keep the heat out. We want better foundations, maybe thicker foundations to keep the fire out. It's just, it's the same process. It's just hot, instead of cold. We need to move that direction.
It's a dynamic version of our civil infrastructure that is always based on continuing education.
Right.
Whether that's from anecdotal or experimental, the more data we receive, the better and the safer the decisions that we can make for a stronger and longer civil infrastructure.
And we got better products.
Right.
I mean, I remember dialing the phone, now I have a cell phone. We've got better infrastructure projects. We
Totally.
can build better civil infrastructure now because we've got way better products.
Awesome. Okay, so we were totally off. Wild land, urban interface. Whoa, I like that.
Much better than what we said. So let us read the definition because the published definition is way better than what we said. Defined as the area where structures and other human development meet or intermingle with undeveloped wildland. So that's what people like to live next to that, and it's creating this interface of a danger zone. I'm David. John left. That's it for this. We'll get nice paper out. We're working on that as we speak. No concrete, beat asphalt.